So you might have looked at the previous thing and been like, oh no, coding. If you've ever done any programming, you'll know it kind of sucks. You get used to it and you start to enjoy it to some degree, but for some of you, you might be like, that's not what I signed on for, which I understand. The nice thing is that Adobe Animate actually has a built-in code snippets panel that actually allow you to like double click on things, and it's just pre-made bits of code, and then you just have to change it. You might have to change like the name of some things, and like be like, instead of like the example I showed earlier where it says go to frame and play, and then it said 2, you would be like, oh, I want it to go to frame 6, so you just put a 6 in here. So it's going to be things like that. So even this right here, this was made using a code snippet. So you're going to see, I'm going to use the code snippets as much as possible with using as little manually written code as possible, because I don't expect you guys to be able to just memorize and be able to write the code. I want you to know it like you know your 8th grade Spanish, right? Where you can't really like go to Mexico and be like blah 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 and talk, but if you looked at like some instructions, you'd be able to pick out this word and that word and get a rough idea of what's happening, and then maybe even like jumble it up a little bit that you could get someone to understand what you're trying to say. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm not expecting you to be like a coding whiz, right? There are classes that are specifically dedicated to that. However, I do think this is good to know, and it'll give you a rough idea, and then maybe you do enjoy it, and then you can, further explore this and maybe take some other classes. You could take the game design class. We code in Java. What do you call it? C# in that course using Unity. But anyway, so don't get too distressed about the coding aspect, because we will make it as easy as possible.